Today I'm going to be showing you how to obtain the silver armor set, the silver crossbow with silver bolts to fire, the two-handed silver greatsword, and two one-handed silver swords that you can dual wield, turning you into the ultimate vampire hunter right at the start of the game. In theory, many of these weapons can be obtained at level 1 very early on. Let's break down each item that we're going to be getting in this video so you can understand how everything can come together to create a powerful early game character. Starting out, we have the silver two-handed and one-handed swords that cannot be crafted, but don't worry, I'll show you the location you can get them soon. But the silver swords actually have a secret enchantment that is not visible on the weapon itself. Silver weapons will actually do an additional 20 damage per hit to werewolves, werebears, and any undead in the game, including ghosts, vampires, and Draga, which is fantastic since they inhabit most dungeons in the game. If you add that onto the one-handed silver sword's base damage of 8, it now does a total of 28 damage to undead, which is almost double the damage of a dragonbone sword, which only has 15 base damage. So versus undead, the silver sword is rather powerful indeed. Very interestingly though, the sword doesn't actually count as being enchanted. What this means is that you can actually go and enchant the sword again yourself, in addition to the effect that's already on it, meaning it's one of the only weapons in the game that can have 3 enchantments on it at once. Secondly, we have the silver crossbow with a base damage of 14 and a silver bolt ammunition for another 10 damage on top of that. This is a great range weapon for dealing with dragons especially. And finally, I'll be showing you how to get the silver armor set from Skyrim Anniversary Edition. This heavy armor set has a base value of 92, almost as good as the ebony armor, but with a fraction of the weight. You can also enchant the armor yourself as well. My favorite part about it personally though is the Dark Souls aesthetic of this full armor set. So firstly, to obtain the silver armor, we must come over here on the map to Whiterun. Directly in the center of town, you will find the Bannered Mare pub. Once you enter the Bannered Mare, come over here to the left, and tucked away on this table here, you're going to discover a note. The note is from a sneaky Khajiit who used to be a bandit warrior, and after you pick it up, you'll start the quest When the Cat's Away. Now we need to leave the pub and head up towards Dragon's Reach Prison, which is located in the Dragonreach Castle itself. When you reach Dragonreach Castle, take a right and come around this bend here, and then you can come towards the prison. Once you enter Dragonreach Dungeon, just on the right hand side here, where you usually find your stuff hidden in the evidence chest, just behind it is a secret note, Sarah's Confession. The note speaks of her ancient silver armor, which was crafted by the Crimson Dirks for her. So we go ahead and take this note. We can then head back outside, and now to the west of Whiterun, we're going to fast travel all the way over here, just near Rorikstead, where you're going to find Lun's Hut, which is a very interesting location in itself. Now, once you reach Lun's Hut, you'll find a bunch of skeevers outside it, which you can easily dispatch, like so. Now, if you're wondering, there actually is a story to the skeevers outside here and the murder mystery within this hut. If you want the full story, I've already made a whole video about that, but I don't want to spoil it. Within, you'll find even more skeevers to dispatch. After they've been dealt with, you can find the secret silver armor that's been stashed away, which you can unlock with Sarah's key. And within, you can find the full armor set of the silver armor. You'll also find a book on the Crimson Dirks, which is actually the bandit company that Shara was a part of, and she's even mentioned within it. But do take care, because as soon as you venture outside, you'll be attacked by an Imperial and 2 East Empire Company soldiers who are trying to get revenge on your bandit crew, which is why you hid your armor set in the first place. It looks like coming back and collecting it almost spelled death for you, but luckily Lydia is here to help me, and we can take these guys out pretty easily. Well done, Lydia, you battle mistress. Now, each one of these enemies has a full steel set of armor, which you can obviously sell because it's not as good as the silver armor that you're wearing. Next up, to obtain the silver swords and the silver greatsword, we're going to come southeast from Dawnstar, just here on the map, to Driftshade Refuge. which is one of the few locations that the Silver Bloods have a stronghold, and the Silver Bloods are guaranteed to have silver weapons on their bodies. So firstly, we're going to be getting these 2 silver swords, one from this archer on top of the roof here. Here they are. I'm at the soldiers of the Silver Hand. Ah! Mercy, I think not. Get wrecked. Okay, so now we've killed them both. If we search their bodies, you can see they both have a silver sword. So now we have 2 silver swords, which we can obviously dual wield. And you'll also notice that each one of them has a lot of gold, because they are famous for owning a lot of the silver mines in Skyrim. And they're all pretty well kitted out. So now we're going to come around and actually enter Driftshade Refuge itself. And we're just going to head on inside in order to grab the silver greatsword by fighting through some of this dungeon. Head through the main entrance and go all the way through the dungeon to the left until you reach this room at the very north side of the dungeon, where you'll find a Silverhand warrior posing as Dovahkiin and wielding a 2-handed silver greatsword that you can claim for yourself once you have defeated him. And now you have the silver greatsword, a truly giant slab of metal, finely gilded with silver detailing. It has a base damage of 17 plus the additional 20 damage it does to undead for a total base damage of 37. Next, to get the silver crossbow for yourself, you're going to want to come over here on the map to the City of Solitude, just here. Once you arrive, come through the market area and up towards where the blacksmith. Just on the left of the blacksmith, you will find the town Fletcher. This is where we can actually buy the crossbow. We need to come and have a chat with our friend.
Welcome, my friend.
Ask him what he has for sale. You'll see he has silver bolt and the silver crossbow. Now this is obviously thematic because the silver crossbow looks awesome. It looks a little bit like Van Helsing's crossbow. But I should also note he also sells other crossbow variations like the Nordic crossbow, which looks kind of like a silver crossbow, so it still kind of fits with the build we're going for here and actually does more damage. And I mean, that looks pretty damn awesome. But also, if you don't have the money to buy a crossbow, what you can do is actually get one from the display case over here. You can actually pickpocket his key like so, that you can unlock the display case with. Now the Daedric crossbow is one of the best crossbows in the entire game, and I mean it's pretty awesome to use a Daedric crossbow against vampires, since it's like using their own weaponry against them. So now you have acquired a full set of heavy silver armor, a silver sword collection, and a silver crossbow with silver bolts. You can find a guide on where to get all of the other armor sets in the game linked down below in the description, but do let me know if you have a specific character build in mind now you've collected these weapons.